Looking, fires it deep downfield. That ball's tipped and intercepted. It is intercepted. It was tipped into the air. Cole Bishop picks off the carom, and the Buffalo Bills are going to take a knee twice and win the ball game.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, welcome in everybody to the first postseason Check the Tape Tuesday. I mean post meaning after the season. We had one during the postseason last week, but the Jags season is wrapped up. Jeff Lageman in studio with us here this morning. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark. Good morning, Tony. How are things?
All good.
Things were good for about a half last night, I'd say.
Man, that game was ugly.
One play doesn't determine the outcome, but, man, I would have liked to have seen DK Metcalf catch that ball when he got behind the defense in the second quarter last night. If he turns those hips.
Yeah.
He's got nothing but green grass in front of him, but unfortunately, Pittsburgh allowed the hated Houston Texans to advance. Good morning, Logs. How are you?
Good morning. I didn't think Pittsburgh would score a point, but three takeaways helped them out a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, they moved the ball fine in the early going. In fact, they attacked with DK Metcalf, which was a little surprising because of those corners. But regardless, Rodgers went a long time without throwing another ball DK's way after that drop. He gave him the sour Aaron Rodgers
Cold
face.
Shoulder.
He kind of did, it seemed like in that game. But so that's their issue. And now Houston will move on in the playoffs and take on the New England Patriots, a place we wish we had been going with the week coming up, Logs. But just as you are now a couple of days away from the Jaguars season coming to an end, what was your, if you've had a little time to reflect and put it in perspective, what was your takeaway from the way things concluded on Sunday?
It's disappointing. And the farther you get in the playoffs, I think the more disappointing it becomes. And that's just the reality of it. And then at the end of the day, there's only one team that's going to be happy. And that's hard to see sometimes. I kind of have the saying, sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the tree. And, the tree is the loss that you had. And but the forest, which is the season that you had, was fantastic. I mean, who would have thought that, 4-13 to 13-4 in 1 year's time? Tremendous year with a lot of player improvement. The foundation of the leadership that we have in the organization makes you excited for the future. So, it's kind of hard to dwell on that one game when you had so much good.
There was a lot of good, but it's still, I think disappointing, especially because you didn't take care of your home field advantage, right? Your home game. If you go on the road and you lose to a higher seed and you advance, I had somebody hit me up last night in replying to our question of the day, just, asking for their reaction to the loss. And they said the reason this one was harder to deal with is a lot of times in the past, you've gone in like when you beat the Chargers and then you go to Kansas City, you're like, well, we hope to win, but the odds are we're probably not going to win. In this one, you're at home, you're the higher seed, and the way it ended so abruptly, Tone, with the interception.
They had played a season that you felt like deserved to get paid off with one playoff win, right? And then see what happens in the rest of the run. They're good enough to make a deep run, it felt like, and I still feel that way about it. I certainly feel that way about the Bills, coming out of the game, that they can make a potential deep run in the AFC playoffs here. It's okay to be disappointed with how it ends, right? And still appreciate how they got there, right? Compared to what your expectations were. Feeling it a little bit here, that's fine in my book. I think we all should, at least for a couple days. It ought to be disappointing to lose that game to the Bills, even if the Bills are really good. That's okay to be disappointed.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, look, if you lose, it's very disappointing. But the reality is, I think there's a lot of things that are in place that make you excited for the future. And, is it disappointing to lose to Buffalo because you're, the higher seed and at home, all those things? Yeah, sure. And it doesn't and nothing's going to make that any easier to kind of stomach. But, the reality is sometimes you got to take a step back and look at the whole picture. And I think the whole picture that this football team has is very encouraging, and it's very exciting for what's next. And I can't wait to see what James Gladstone's going to be able to do with this football team given another year or two, to keep adding talent to this roster, and what the coaches are going to do with that talent, because the development that happened on the roster this year from players that were largely disappointing in previous years, I thought was tremendous.
You're also probably going to lose some of those guys just to the sheer
Maybe.
nature of
Maybe.
money talks, and you can't pay everybody at the top of the market. So we'll see who they're able to retain, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But just what's your overall take on how Trevor Lawrence performed? I thought the ball came out of his hand funny a couple of times. I know he had some tipped at the line, but I just thought I don't know. He didn't. It wasn't.
Was he seeing it as well as he had?
I don't know
if
if it was
Probably
seeing
not.
it
I'd say
it.
no. I mean, I think the answer is very apparent. That was he seeing it as well as he was in some of the previous games where he was on that hot streak? Probably not. Would you like to have seen me personally? Like to have seen them, commit the running game a little bit more? Sure. I think that's a great conversation also about, do you take points early in the game or do you stay aggressive like you've been all year long? And I think either way, I don't think there's a right answer there. So I wish they could have done some things differently because, hindsight is the greatest analytics of all. It's undefeated, So, I mean, would you have done things differently? Yeah, because, look, the outcome wasn't what you got, So
would you have kicked the field goal instead of
going
going
for it on the air that I
would
would have taken.
Yeah,
I would have taken the points,
too.
just because of two things. One, what had happened the day before in the playoffs. Number
With the
two,
Rams.
Yeah, and number two, just it felt like you wanted to get something out of that, so yeah, I would have taken the points, but I don't think it was wrong to stay aggressive there either.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is what he's done all year. I do think the playoffs are different, though, because all year long you can go along and say, well, if it doesn't work out, you got next week. You don't have next week
exactly
in this circumstance.
And that one factor I think that, I don't know if you've much into, there's a book that's out there. It's called The Unemotional Investor that was written a few years ago. And it's about staying disciplined and not being emotionally tied to, making financial investments. Well, I mean, I think it's similar on a game day management situation in that some coaches believe you have to take the emotions out of it. But I think the hard part is when you're in that moment in the playoffs, there is momentum that doesn't go into the equation for analytics, so along those lines, I mean, I think there are certain things that you have to have a gut feel for and sometimes ignore analytics. But I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer,
As you come out of the season, how much do you feel that what Trevor Lawrence showed us in the second half of the season is who he's going to be moving forward?
Well, I mean, you hope that that's what he is going to be moving forward. From a positive standpoint, look, year two in a system, a coach that's going to work his rear end off to coach him up. I thought Doug Peterson got lazy after 22, to be honest with you. So I don't expect that out of Liam Cohen and his coaching staff. So I think that there will be a lot of hard work by Trevor and the coaching staff to where his level of output stays consistently high. Okay, if I'm a pessimist, I go back to 22 and you look at the second half of 22 and Trevor got hot, was smoking and then got in the playoffs, an amazing comeback, played really well. And we were like, all right, franchise quarterback has arrived. And then the steady decline through the next couple years, we were like,
they did start 8-3 the
next
next year, though.
Well, they did, but I mean, if you look at the numbers from the numbers that he had in the second half of 22,
they were getting a ton of turnovers.
And you look in 23 and then 24, and you look at his numbers, every statistical category went down. So I mean, it's not okay to assume that, hey, look, this is the new Trevor. You want to make sure that you work to get him at that level or even higher than that, than where he was at this year.
All right, if you want to get in today with your thoughts with Jeff Lageman, you're welcome to do so. Your questions or comments on Jaguar football, and the easiest way to do it is on the Key Buick GMC hotline at 641-1010. Also on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at that same number. You can hit us up on X today at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Logs56, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
What's up?
How are
I got
you?
some big news potentially on the show tomorrow.
Oh.
Coach Cohen and GM James Gladstone will be talking tomorrow at 10 a.m. Top of the show.
Okay.
So just want to let you know.
Will we be carrying that? Is that what you're telling me?
I will be talking with management when we get done.
All right,
Go to
so
break.
season-ending wrap-up kind of presser type situation is what we're talking
Yes.
about here. All right. Maybe we endeavor to get on the air a couple minutes early tomorrow so we can
I was thinking the same thing.
gracefully toss to that and have some seamless transition to coverage of Jacksonville Jaguar football. All right, so you know the ways to get in today. It is a Check the Tape Tuesday. You want to focus on this game, certainly fair game. You want to focus on the season as a whole, that's okay. If you want to look ahead with questions as to what the Jags need to do in the offseason, that's all welcome as well. Jeff Lageman's here, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. You're listening to Jaguars Today on a Check the Tape Tuesday here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for big number one Duval Ford, Jacksonville's number one Ford dealer with an unbeatable selection of F-150s, Super Duties, Broncos, you know it. They've got transparent pricing, fast trade appraisals, and a no-pressure buying experience. And they're the home of Ford Pro, business-ready fleet, commercial, and upfitting solutions, certified pre-owned options with 172-point inspections and extended warranties. Just a few of the many reasons you should check out Duval Ford. 1616 Cassett Avenue or online at duvalford.com.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Post-game Monday is like digesting a huge day of football.
Let's do this.
Expert analysis of Sunday's game all day.
It's not great. It's fantastic.
Sink your teeth into Dandy Foods Post-game Monday
So delicious.
on 1010XL.
The toughest bulls, the bravest riders. For 8 seconds, it's all on the line. Glory or nothing. These are cowboys who face down danger, defy the odds, and push themselves beyond limits most wouldn't dare. This is their world, where legends are made on the backs of ranked bulls. It's bull time, Jacksonville. PBR Bucks into ViStar Memorial Arena February 20th and 21st. Get your tickets now at pbr.com/tickets.
'Tis the season for bull picking.
You got the chance to win $1,000 in jewelry from Beard's Diamonds.
Brought to you by Burlock and Barrel American Whiskey.
You watch them, but can you pick them?
Get your picks in at 1010XL.com. Jaguars Today Tuesday, kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Ready to race Jacksonville? Indoor racing anytime at K1 Speed. Fast electric karts, real competition, and family fun. Buy 2 races, get 1 free every Tuesday. Cruise over to K1 Speed Jacksonville today, your top destination for indoor racing.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
When the lights shine the brightest in the game's final moments, the offense show that their stars shine just as bright. Trevor Lawrence led the Young Guns on a 10-play, 77-yard drive, capped off by an ETN touchdown, giving Jacksonville a 24-20 lead with 4:03 left in regulation. The 4-minute drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyric.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
I'm with Fred from Cycles of Jacksonville. We always talk about Honda, Triumph, so many great bikes, but Aprilia from Italy is also a beautiful line.
It is absolutely gorgeous, and it is a fine sport bike. It's one that when you take your helmet off, you're never frowning. You're always smiling.
So if you want to treat yourself to something really special on the road, that's a line they should look into?
Absolutely, and we've got them in stock and ready to roll.
All right, make sure you check them out. They are on Atlantic near Regency. CyclesofJacksonville.com is a great place to go, or check out their Facebook page at Cycles of Jacksonville.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Prosser here, and with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. So don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out your high-interest debt. 904-999-1508. And you can see how much cash you can get today. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Jaguars Today on a Check the Tape Tuesday. We'll get to your calls and texts coming up here in a moment. The Cleveland Browns are seeking to kick the tires on Grant Udinski as one of their candidates for their open head coaching job. Jeff, as far as Udinski goes, I think he's a good coach, but it's an uphill battle, I think. You've been a coordinator for 1 year and you haven't called plays in the NFL. Do you think there's a realistic chance that he gets a job this cycle, or is this more people trying to figure out what makes him tick and with the potential to possibly be blown away when he gets in the room?
No, I think he has a legitimate chance. You know, I mean, every NFL team is looking to get a young quarterback to pair with a bright offensive mind to grow with, and so I think it's real. Especially right now, the hot coaching tree seems to be the Sean McVay coaching tree, and then the other hot coaching tree is the one that resides up in Minnesota, which actually goes back to Sean McVay. So that's kind of the double whammy there with Grant Udinski, that he's got connections to both.
And a quarter of the league is looking for a coach. Like, there's a lot of openings out there right now.
And how many of those openings are going to be either young quarterbacks or already young quarterbacks? I mean, so that's the hot thing to do, is to have that young, bright offensive mind to pair with a quarterback so that you never lose that bright offensive mind.
Right. If you got him as your OC, then, he can. Look, I don't think the Jags can block a move, can they, if some team were going to give him play calling duties?
Well, no. I mean, look, it's title. It's not a matter of having play calls.
He could be assistant head coach.
So he could move as a head coach and not be as a head coach interview cannot be denied.
Right.
Now, I don't know if assistant head coach, play caller, that to me is like a lateral move. I don't think that they can ban that or not allow that to happen. I'm pretty sure of that, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I want to look into the details on that, because I wasn't sure if you're offering a guy, that kind of control. It's like with a GM, if you have a roster final say on the roster, they can't block that if you don't have that in your current circumstance.
So I'm not positive on coaches, but I've never seen a coach leave as a coordinator to go to another team to have a title as his assistant head coach. Never seen that.
All right, let's jump in with the phone calls to see what's on everyone's mind here on this Check the Tape Tuesday at 641-1010. If you want to get in with Jeff Lageman, Jeff will be with us here through the end of January. So, by the way, so will David Garrard. As yesterday we found, we're going to extend our weekly co-host through the month of January, as much as their schedules allow, at least. Let's begin with Gavin here in Jacksonville this morning on 1010XL. Gavin, good morning.
Good morning.
What's up?
I felt like I was kind of confused with the Jags, like why they didn't run the ball more. I feel like their running game was looking really good with the limited amount of run attempts they did make. They ran the ball really well, and I felt like they had Trevor throwing the ball a lot more than he should have.
Well, again, that kind of goes to what we were talking about, and that it's hindsight. I mean, would I have liked to have seen them run the ball a little bit more? Sure. I mean, just because that's kind of the kryptonite of the Buffalo Bills defense, and number one pass ranking in the NFL when it comes to defenses, and that's one of the reasons why the Buffalo Bills, make it very difficult on quarterbacks. I mean, they're good, and they do a great job of kind of disguising some things. They do a really good job of playing fast and confident, and that's not easy. I mean, would you like to have it maybe be a little bit different? Sure. But at the same token, on the flip side of that, look, you had a quarterback who had 100 rating in 5 of his last 6 games and was hot. So I also understand the point of riding the hot hand. And in that game, we were just talking during the break, there were times where Trevor dropped back, and it wasn't a matter of Trevor not performing well. There was nobody open. The coverage was really good for whatever reason. So that's just the way the game goes. And I think if they had another opportunity at a rematch, would they do things differently? I think they would. Absolutely.
Yeah, Liam Cohen alluded to it a little bit in the post game that we should probably maybe run it a little bit more. But I think, and I agree with that sentiment, but I think the counter argument is, well, they really had 3 possessions before the final minute of the game in the second half, and they scored on all of them.
On every one of them.
Right. So how much better would they have done had they run the ball as opposed to taking the approach they did?
Yeah, and I think you almost have to limit it to should they have run the ball a little bit more in the first half. Like, in light of the success they had on offense in the second half, you almost have to kind of limit it to what they did or didn't get done in the first half. And I think it speaks to as well, Logs, did they ever feel like they were out of balance with what they were doing in the offense, running versus pass in the football game? To my eyes, it never really felt that way necessarily watching it, but how did it feel to you watching the tape?
Well, no, I mean, it didn't feel out of balance, but I just think that, common sense, one of the great defenses in the history of the National Football League is, time of possession by your offense, and when you have the strength of an opponent that is their quarterback and Josh Allen, keep him on the sideline. And, part of accomplishing that is running the ball effectively repeatedly. So maybe if you ran the ball effectively, could you have limited the number of possessions that they had? Sure. Maybe getting one more takeaway, too, would have been the difference maker in that ball game. And that's been the calling card of this football team all season long. We talked about it last week as the number one key, turnover differential. And they didn't win that battle in this game.
Didn't get enough pressure on Josh Allen to create them.
I didn't one really good pass rush, and that was the sack by Josh Allen.
Right.
That was one real dominant.
Right. There are a couple of times that they had like a secondary rush, and he was forced out of the pocket, but and this is a day where I don't think he was anywhere near his most mobile. They'll tell you, he wasn't on the injury report, but he didn't look, other than the short yardage stuff, he didn't look to me like he was looking to take off and run that often.
I give him a lot of credit. I mean, you think about it, coming into the game, he had the foot, and then in the course of the game, he's got the pass,
the
head, his hand on the helmet.
The hand, the head, and the knee.
And then Trayvon tries to rip his head off on the one play, and he's got blood coming out behind his, neck, ear, whatever. I mean, he's a tough guy, man. I mean, if there's a most valuable quarterback in the league, and obviously Patrick Mahomes is right up there, and I'm not talking about just winning the MVP just in the league calendar year, but the most valuable to their team when it comes to wins and losses. Like, if you take the quarterback out of the equation, how many wins would they get without him? Buffalo Bills may be the ones that get the least amount of wins. I mean, that's how dependent they are on their quarterback.
No doubt. All right, let's go. Gavin, thank you for the call. James on the south side next up here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, James.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you for taking my call. I want to get the good stuff out there because it was a wonderful season and very unexpected. So the fan base got to be thrilled and also disappointed because it ended so quickly and it was the first round. But Jeff, I got 2 things I want to ask you about. Number one, they did what they wanted to do on defense in terms of stopping the run, but it seemed to me that the back end of the defense, guys was just running open when they needed, just like security. The guy averaged basically 10 yards a catch. I mean, they couldn't have did any adjustments to kind of limit his production. And number 2, on offense, Buffalo defense in the back end they're very good in terms of disguising their coverages because those balls that Trevor ended up throwing, I guess he felt like the receivers going to come open, but really it was almost like the guys were just spying on the back end and just waiting to bait him into throwing them balls because they just seemed like he threw to areas that he thought were going to be open, but end up being picked. Could you talk about that, please?
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thanks, James.
The Bills' defense, James, did a really good job contesting a lot of catches, and the last interception is a perfect example of that, where you got one of the most sure-handed wide receivers in the National Football League, and the defender's right in there poking a hand in there, and the ball pops up and it gets intercepted. And I think throughout the course of the day, they did a really good job with keeping sticky coverage and contesting some catches. I mean, even the touchdown catch by Parker Washington. I mean, the defender was draped all over him. So give the Buffalo Bills credit. I mean, that's one of the strengths of their team is the back end. Did our defensive back end have some issues? Yes. And that's, one of the reasons why you drafted Travis Hunter is to have him in your back end. And boy, would you like to have had him in this game. You had a couple breakdowns that allowed, a couple easy completions. One to Brandon Cooks, comes to mind. Another one to Keon Coleman comes to mind, to where you got to keep things cleaned up a little bit there. And you allowed some easy catches in there, and that's not what you want to do at a big moment.
So this one, a lot of people have asked this. This one, though, put forth by Professor Floyd on X on the last play where Trevor threw that interception. When you watch it on film, a lot of people have pointed out Parker Washington looks like he breaks open. But did Trevor have time to wait on that based on the pressure that was coming?
The quick answer is no. Okay, and a lot of people look at that play and say, well, Parker's coming open. Well, one of the reasons why it looks like he's coming open is because he makes the throw underneath Jacoby and the safety reacts up. And that makes it look like it's even more open than what it is. Could it have been open? Sure. But I will say that the Buffalo Bills had a 3-man rush there, and you got leaky pressure. And you're not supposed to have leaky pressure on a 3-man rush. I mean, you got 5 against 3, block them up. And on the left side with Walker Little and Ezra Cleveland, they allowed the end on that side on a 3-man rush to affect Trevor in the pocket. And so a couple things kind of happening on that play, but the quick answer is no. That's not really an option there for 2 reasons.
Trevor got officially hit 3 times in the game, quarterback hits by the Buffalo Bills defense. How did you think the protection was overall?
I thought it was solid. I thought it was very solid. I thought Walker Little, besides the 2 false starts and that one little leaky play, but that's kind of him and Ezra both, I thought he played well. I thought Anton Harrison played his rear end off. Kudos to him, man. Great year. I mean, great year. It's going to be interesting to see where his future spot is, but excited about his level of play because, that's the level of play when I remember watching his college film going, this guy's really good. And that's the first time his rookie year, I thought he had a tremendous year. Last year, terrible. This year, once again, back up to the level of expectation that was attached to him when they drafted him. I mean, because he's that good of an athlete.
In Lageman's world, is he competing for the left tackle job, or do we have the side set going into the offseason?
I think that's a great question, and I think that there's probably going to be a lot of discussion about that with the coaching staff to see where, in fact, the future lies for him. I know talking to Cole Van Lanen, he can play all the spots, but he said his favorite is on the right side. So he said he's just a little bit more comfortable. It's a dominant hand issue for him. So, but look, he can play left, he can play right, he can play inside, he can play outside. I think the one thing that we've got to watch too with him is, where is he at with that injury? So that's something to keep an eye on as this team goes forward because you just gave him an extension. He's earned every penny of it because he's developed himself, and give him a lot of credit because they literally moved him to tackle a couple years ago as an afterthought when it came to the numbers game in camp. And all he did was to have the highest rated PFF grade of any NFL player in the preseason a couple years ago, and it made people start paying attention. And he worked his rear end off. He's gotten stronger. He's gotten versatile, super consistent, super strong arms as far as like in pass protection. He never gets them knocked down or to the side. It's been a great, perfect example of the development of offensive linemen. It sometimes takes a couple years.
All right, James, thank you for the call. For the rest of you on the line, hang in there a moment. We got another 90 minutes to go with Jeff Lageman. So we'll get to all of you on this Check the Tape Tuesday, recapping the Jaguars' loss and their season to some degree here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Hey friends, Frank Frangie here. A new year is the perfect time to make sure your car is ready for the road ahead. And nothing gives you more confidence than a fresh set of tires from my friends at Big Chief Tire. I've trusted them for years. They take great care of me, and they'll take great care of you. Start 2026 with a smoother, safer ride. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today and let Big Chief get you rolling.
It may be winter in Northeast Florida, but it's one of the most important times to protect your lawn. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. Their winterizer strengthens roots and improves cold tolerance. Pre-emergent treatments stop spring weeds before they ever start. What that means is you set the stage for a thicker, greener lawn when spring arrives. Call today to schedule your winter lawn treatment with Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
It's a Jaguars Today Tuesday, sparked by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here. Leave all the 2025 dirt and celebrate the new year with our friends from Zero Res. Carpets, tile, hardwood, LVP, area rugs, upholstery. Basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res, and don't forget about your air ducts. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with more than 8,000 reviews. Bring in the new year with 20% off carpet and upholstery cleaning, plus take $100 off your air duct cleaning when you mention 1010XL. 287-5727 or book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at PlumbingJacksonville.com.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. Are you frustrated with those trendy pills, drops, and lotions that claim to make your hair thicker and fuller? Are you taking weight loss drugs or medication that's making your hair fall out? Whether you're frustrated with results from treatments that just don't work, or you no longer have the fuller, thicker hair that you once had, there's a better way. Our hair restoration solutions have helped literally over 10,000 men and women restore their hair in as little as 2 office visits.
Ready to grow your hair back and have permanent, natural, and guaranteed results? For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com. Flame Broiler, the Rice Bowl King, is turning up the flavor with new char wings. These wings are charbroiled, never fried, grilled to perfection for a big taste without the grease. Grab them as a 3-piece or 10-piece side, or make it a meal with a 6 or 8-piece combo, served with rice and a drink. Order pickup or delivery today from any of Flame Broiler's 5 Jacksonville locations, or call 904-619-2786. Flame Broiler, bold flavor done right.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Jeff Lageman here with us. Logs, other than outdoorsy kind of stuff, what do you occupy your film watching time with now? You're going to start turning your attention to incoming prospects in the NFL draft, or what's your
Yeah, I mean, I'll start watching some of that, but my focus, like this time of year, is kind of looking back on the Jaguars and looking back on some of the film, a little bit of that, and then also the playoff games. There are certain games that I will go back and watch some film on just because out of curiosity, you know, and if you're going to talk about it, you better watch it. You know, watch it just be up above and beyond TV.
I cannot talk about Sunday Night Football then because I couldn't do it. I just after the Jags lost, I was like, what's the point here of watching this one in particular? And if there was one to choose not to watch, I think that ended up being the right one. So
I will say, watching the game last night, I am really annoyed as someone who supports the Jaguars that C.J. Stroud gets rewarded with that defense playing as badly as he
was
did in that game.
Turning it over left and right for a while there.
Yeah, not very good.
And paying no penalty for it.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, that's what good defenses travel, right? And then that defense can travel anywhere. I guarantee you there's not one team in the National Football League that would say, you know what, we want the Texans because we feel really good about that matchup. I mean, that defense is that good.
Yep.
I mean, that's why I said that I'd be surprised if, I actually did an interview about the Jaguars and we got talking about the Texans a little bit because, they knew that the Texans were in the Jaguars division. They wanted to get kind of a little bit of a feel on what I thought about the Houston Texans. And I told the guys on the air, and I might have told you guys the same thing. I said, I'd be surprised if Pittsburgh scores a point. I mean, that's how good Houston is. I mean, they're legit for real. They've got two of the best edge players. I think it's the best edge combination in the league. They've got the best corner combination in the league. They've got one of the best middle linebackers. And even though we don't like the guy, he's really good. And that's Al-Shaair. So good football team, coached really well and very disciplined. And they're going to fight you tooth and nail the whole game, 60 minutes.
All right. Well, let's hope that only lasts for another 60 minutes of play time for them this season. Let's go out to the beach. Kyle is next up here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Kyle.
What's up, guys? So I guess we've seen how aggressive James Gladstone can be in this offseason. We have a lot of free agents coming up on defense. We have like Andrew Wingard and Monteric Brown coming up, and then obviously Devin Lloyd. How confident are we coming back, especially with the return of Travis Hunter and Caleb Bransall? I'll listen to what you guys have to say off the phone here.
Okay.
Well, it's a great question, and it all comes down to the numbers. I mean, where they put a value on a player and where the value of that player ends up. So for example, let's say that I really want Tony on my fantasy team, okay? And I'm willing to pay him $5 because I feel like that's the value that he has. Well, if Mike's willing to pay him 10, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go to 10 because I have an assigned value of Tony on 5. And it's kind of oversimplification, but that's kind of where it's at when it comes to personnel moves in the National Football League. Where do you value the player versus where can you keep his value at and where they value themselves at if you have no control over that?
If you had to guess, Devin Lloyd going to be the toughest guy to retain?
I think he will be, just because I think a lot of teams will value him. He's an all-pro. He has had high PFF grades for the last couple years. PFF loves him. But there are some limitations with Devin Lloyd. His coverage skills are not great. So does that limit maybe what you want to do defensively? Sure. I mean, I think there's times that they put Devin in certain situations to accentuate what he does best, to hide also some of the things that he doesn't do best. And I think that that's one of the strengths of this staff and how they went about their business this year, is that they made sure that they didn't expose players a lot with their weaknesses. And that's good coaching, and coaching matters. And so I don't know where that's going to end up with him. You'd love to have all the players back at a number that you like. But the reality is that once you get to the open market, players get more typically than the value of where the player's at.
I can't blame them.
No. How would you
economics.
prioritize their needs going into now the offseason? Just talking about the guys on the roster that we already did a little bit with Devin Lloyd and some of the other names there, but how would you prioritize the needs, just looking at they need to address X the most going into it?
Well, you got to address the ability to affect opposing quarterbacks. I think that was kind of on display all year. They were trying to do some creative things because at the end of the day, the best defense are the ones that send four. And then, I'm talking send four in different ways, but they send four because they can get it done. I mean, that's what the Texans do. They send four. They don't have to be creative. They can be. But when you can get it done with four, that's the ultimate situation to have. And so I think they're going to look at supplementing the front. I think also the rotation, I think in the future will be adjusted in some ways. I think like at the beginning of the year, the Ogba was the guy that was active, and then they started to transition to Strigo and B.J. Green. And if you look at the numbers, B.J. Green might be your best pass rusher. Just looking, and it's a very small sample size, but if you look at the success rate of wins versus opportunities, he's pretty high. So could he be a guy that in the future you develop? Yeah, but you got to have a lot of guys like that. When I say a lot of guys, give me four.
Yeah.
Give me four good pass rushers. I don't care where they're at, if they're defensive tackles or whatever. Along those lines, too, huge credit to Eric Armstead. Having a much improved year, and he battled some injuries with the club that he had. I thought he played a very good game this past Sunday. I thought he was killing Osiris Torrance, I think is the right guard,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. He was wearing him out, pushed him back into the pocket of Josh Allen a couple different times. His performance was really good, and that was something that was definitely, I don't want to say it was unexpected, but a very good performance by him this year as an interior pass rusher, and they really settled in. As far as like a good rotation that benefited him and also the team. And the reason why that they were able to settle in on that rotation with him was the emergence of Matt Dickerson. Great year for him. Where you couldn't, guy that was on the practice squad that was literally beating up their offensive line in practice, and they finally said, geez, this guy's like wearing us out. Why are we not playing him?
Yeah.
And Mason Smith at the time was trying to feel his way, back from the injury, and Matt earned that rep and that role, and he never let it go.
All right, I want to circle back to that with Mason Smith, but we'll get to Richard in Atlanta before we hit the break here with Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Go ahead, Richard.
Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing today?
Good. What's up, man?
Hey, Jeff, I don't know if you remember me. I called last week before the Buffalo game. I'm the former NFL scout,
Yes.
and so you had a grade on you.
Yep.
You're going to get a kick out of this, Jeff. I'm getting old, man. Me and you came out the same year. You came out in 89, right?
That's right.
I came out in 89. I came out from Liberty University. You was the first round pick. You was 56 overall. So I didn't start scouting until 2000. So I'm getting old, man. I don't know why I thought you was a younger guy.
No.
We the same age, man.
I just look young and sexy. That's all, Richard.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. Hey, I just want to say that you guys doing a great job, man. Keep up the work. I enjoy listening to you, man. But I needed to call you back, Jeff, and let you know that. And hey, I'm going to tell you this. I think the 89 class was one of the best classes ever come out. I was roommates with Deion Sanders. We had Troy Aikman come out of that class. We had Derek, who went to University of Alabama. We ended up dying at Kansas City. We had a lot of great players come out. Derek Thomas. We had a lot of great players come out of that draft.
Andre Rison.
And, yes. Yeah, so we had a lot of great players, man. But hey, I just wanted to call you and just let you know that, man. I'm getting old, dude. I just turned 60 in January, so I'm getting up there.
You were an old draft pick then.
It must have been. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Yeah, I guess, yeah, because you're still got the 5 in front.
I still got the 5.
That's a bummer. I heard it last week. Logs was excited. He was like, yeah, let me know. What's the report say? Like, he really wanted to know.
Most of the reports said second-round pick, and then I went 14th overall, so I was a little bit of a reach, as Mel Kiper so accurately portrayed on the broadcast on ESPN. Thank you.
Yeah, well, he's had his moments there that have lived in infamy as well. All right, we'll continue along here. If you want to get in with Jeff Lageman, 641-1010 is the easiest way to do it on the Key Buick GMC phone lines. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, and Jeff here with you on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Get the goods on Gainesville 24/7. Search 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnickchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
It's Jaguars Today, Tuesday.
Protected by Shirlington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Hey gang, Prosser here. When it comes time to sell your home, don't worry about any, quote, problems you think might be related, because I've got the perfect team that will keep you right on track. In fact, they've got a guarantee that you can't beat. And that is Chad and Sandy, the agents I would call to sell my home. You see why? Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. But the promise is this. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jacksonville homes are selling, but many take months and a low price to sell. Getting top price means aggressive marketing. Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive demand to sell your home. Darcy in San Jose said, I felt too isolated in my retirement. I wanted to buy in a different area, better suited for me. I spoke to several agents who didn't seem to care. I needed to find someone I could rely on. In come Chad and Sandy, and in 3 days, the home was sold. ChadandSandy.com or 904-414-6200.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulate this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week, Christian Rick, senior basketball player at Paxson School. Christian was an All-Gateway and honorable mention All-First Coast. Congratulations, Christian.
A new year is the perfect time to finally get organized. Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and I love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. From closets and garages to home offices, entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and more. Beautiful, functional storage for any space, lifestyle, and budget. Start the new year strong with 40% off plus an extra 15% off, free installation, and 18-month special financing. Schedule your free in-home consultation. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community. And now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's OKE farm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
Are you searching for a career in the HVAC industry? Florida Home AC is looking for an A-team. Full-time positions for qualified individuals to train for HVAC service technicians, install mechanics, and sales consultants. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and click on careers to find out more. We're talking great compensation, a 5-day work week, no downtime in the off-season, and a company-provided vehicle. Check it all out at FloridaHomeAC.com/career. That's FloridaHomeAC.com/career. Equal opportunity employer.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Hey, David again here with Royal Pet Services. It's that time of year when rodents start making their way into our homes. Layson, tell them what they need to get in.
A quarter-size hole.
That's right. That's all they need. Hey, tell them where to go for a free attic and exterior inspection.
Visit RoyalPetServices.com.
This is the kind of sandwich you don't rush. French dip at Firehouse Subs. Premium roast beef loaded with caramelized onions, melted provolone cheese, and topped with Italian seasoning. Stacked on a toasted garlic bread roll with hot au jus for dipping. For a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, here with Jeff Lageman. Got a slate of open phone lines for you if you want to get in at 641-1010. Logs, I want to go back to a couple of things you touched on here, the development of Cole Van Lannon being one of them. Just in general, it seemed like this coaching staff did a great job getting career-type performances out of a number of guys that have been on this roster for a while, right? And they're from a variety of different positions, so it's not like it's one position coach who's just excelling here. Can you just talk about that aspect of the coaching staff that Liam Cohen put together, the teaching aspect, and being able to take a guy like Devin Lloyd, take a guy like Cole Van Lannon, Monteric Brown, Antonio Johnson, and get the kind of performances they got out of him this year?
Parker Washington, career year. You know, I think it starts at the top. You know, I mean, how many times did we hear, you know, because for a long time we didn't really kind of get a look into the philosophy of coaching because it was all about personnel, free agency, and the draft when they first took over leadership. And we kept hearing James Gladstone talk about, we just want to be able to have players that can elevate the room for being who they are. Well, I mean, who they are, I think so. You go and you look at that statement and you're just like, well, what does that mean? Well, it means that who they are is that they have certain traits and abilities and you have to accentuate and highlight them. And they do a really good job, the coaching staff and James Gladstone, of making sure that the players that they get are doing what they scouted them to be doing. And so give them a lot of credit. You know, I mean, it's instead of like having a square peg and trying to pound it into a round hole, you'll find the round peg and put it in the round hole and the square peg in the square hole. You know, so I really appreciate that about the coaching staff and also the personnel staff, and it's one of the reasons why I'm excited. You know, I mean, for many years, you know, you would have players that were playing in roles, and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, he's not very good at doing that. It was like Devin Lloyd. You know, a couple of years ago, they moved him to the mic, and you're like, well, wait a minute, he had issues with kind of getting lined up his first year. So why are we putting him in the front of the huddle? And I'm not trying to criticize Devin in any way, shape, or form, but recognize what he does and what he does best. And that was not what he did best.
Right.
And why they put him at the mic and took a guy like Foye Oluokun, who's been making 100-plus tackles every year, was asinine. You know, and so I think it gets back to common sense, and this staff, and when I say staff, personnel, and coaching did a really good job with that this year.
I'm looking for the quote. I don't have it right in front of me. Brian Thomas said something yesterday to the effect of, you know, adversity gives you something to build off of and come back from, you know, things like that. Like, it obviously wasn't the best year for him following up a terrific rookie season. What does the future hold, in your opinion, for Brian Thomas here in Jacksonville?
Well, he's got to get his swagger back. You know, I mean, this year he started the year out, had a lot of drops, and, you know, he talked and said that he didn't have any lost confidence, but the level of play wasn't what we saw, you know, going back to last year, you know, or 2 years ago now. So I hope he finds that swagger back, gains the confidence back, because his role changed a lot from the previous year. I mean, he was the go-to guy, you know, last year. And then this year he became the deep threat, and that was it. I mean, that's what his role was. And he's got to embrace whatever the role is and continue to work better, to get better, especially with his hands. Now, in that game the other day, great job on the touchdown catch, strong hands.
As a bullet.
That's not, I mean, were you like me holding your breath when it was Brian Thomas?
By the time the pass was so hard thrown that and arrived so quick.
But if I had asked you, hey, we're going to throw a dart to Brian Thomas on the goal line, you'd be going, oh, my God,
he has
are you
tendency
serious?
to double catch it.
Yes, and then the one on the sideline that he didn't double catch it. No. But there's also things that he needs to do better, okay? I'll give you a perfect example. Okay, remember the deep pass to Brenton Strange going down the seam, and then you had, I think it was 27, came out of his coverage and got a pass defensed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, if Brian runs his route harder, that guy's not even in the picture. Okay, Brian, knowing that he's not the primary guy on that, kind of slows down on his route, stands up. And as soon as the defender, the guy, I think it was 27, as soon as he sees that Brian Thomas's body language shows that he's not getting the ball, he immediately starts to break to Brenton Strange. And so if Brian finishes the route with speed and energy and everything else, it's a touchdown to Brenton Strange. So there are things that he's got to do to get better. You know, you want to see that level of energy, that to elevate the room, as James Gladstone always talks about. You know, you want to see that energy that he had his rookie year come back, because he didn't have it this year.
The quote, and I saw this posted from Jamal St. Cyr, a little adversity gives you a lot to grow from. So there you go.
Yeah.
He had more than a little bit at times this year.
He did. Well, I mean, between the injuries and then, you know, the drops. I mean, look, going in the last week of the season, the Jaguars were the #1 team in the National Football League with drop passes.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian was the guy that was at the top of that list. So, yes, definitely adversity, definitely needs to get better.
All right. Dennis in Mayport next up here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Dennis.
Morning, Jen. As the sting fades, I think we all are finding ourselves really proud of how these guys accomplished a lot with a little. I wrote down 3 things that I hope to see get better this offseason. And you may have already talked about them. If you did, sorry. But looking to see the pass rush and the sack numbers go way up next year. I'd like to see more speed in the secondary and some more man coverage and situational decision-making. It's a tale as old as time and Tom Brady that we've played before in the playoffs, that you want to try and keep those guys on the sidelines and run the ball. And I hated that we got away from that Sunday, but really proud of where they're at, excited for where they're going, and thanks for everything you guys did for us all season. Can't wait to be with you all next year.
All right. Thank you, Dennis.
I appreciate that, Dennis. So look, the one thing you talk about situational awareness, you know, just a quick comment on the coaching staff here. You got a rookie head coach who's young, right? Doesn't have a ton of experience in the National Football League. I thought his management of game situations was impeccable. He had his competition, you know, decision-making group that he had from Dykema and then also Shane Waldron, and I don't think they made a poor decision all year.
Like on coaches' challenges, stuff like that.
The only one that I would point to, and he still defended it, was the not taking the offsides play against Tennessee, which I would, you know, you always take the first down in my book because you're never guaranteed another set of fresh downs. You know, 2nd and 1's a little different. But, I mean, overall, I mean, tremendous job. I don't know if I've ever seen a head coach that has that knack for getting up in front of the room and reaching a football team like he does. I think he's truly special in that aspect. I mean, I really do. You know, I mean, you watch, you know, if people have the good fortune of going to Jaguars.com and watching some of the post-game celebrations and then even watching the Hunt series to see how he connects with his football team. I mean, that's real. I mean, that's not Hollywood, folks. I mean, that's real. I wouldn't trade for another head coach in the National Football League. I'm being dead honest there. I mean, I've been around this game a long time. And I'm not saying that because that's my team. I'm just saying that because I believe we've got a really special head coach. I really do.
Let's hope he continues along that path. 1 hour in on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Your calls, questions, comments, welcome here with Jeff Lageman on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL. 1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI defense firm.
Don't wait for leaks to tell you it's time. Start the new year with a roof built to last from Romano Brothers Roofing, serving Jacksonville for over 45 years. Their family-owned team handles repairs, full replacements, and residential or commercial installs, including durable metal roofs. They even do remodels and additions. Call 904-246-5649 or visit RomanoBrothersRoofing.com for a free estimate. License number CCC 1328893.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 13th, 1999, Michael Jordan announces his second retirement just prior to the 98 season. He would later return to play in 2001 for the Washington Wizards.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Superior Plumbing and Pipelining is family-owned and delivers fast, reliable service. Save thousands by restoring your cast iron pipes instead of replacing them. Visit SuperiorPlumbingJacks.com today.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The good guys needed a run late to give them a chance at advancing, and ETN would be the one to lead them. In the fourth quarter, Trevor Lawrence would find the teal and black back for a 14-yard touchdown, giving the team a 24-20 lead with 4:03 left in regulation. The ETN score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. The Florida Gators will begin the 2026 campaign at number 13 in the D1 baseball preseason top 25 rankings as announced on yesterday. Florida returns 22 total players from last year's NCAA regional squad featuring 5 positional starters. The Southeastern Conference led all leagues with 11 teams inside perfect games rankings, which included number 2 LSU, number 3 Texas, and number 4 Mississippi State. 56 degrees at 11:04. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
More jet.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Denmark keeping that seat warm.
Yeah.
Rest of the week. It's our guy right there, R.J. Saunders, coming in. Big booming voice.
Big booming voice and a lot better dressed than I am.
He is a pretty snazzy dresser, bro. Everyone's better dressed than I am, for the most part. I've given up. All right. I never tried, Tone. After a brief stint in college, I just said, you know what? I'm more the shorts and T-shirts kind of guy. And
sometimes wear a hat, for sure.
Sometimes wear a hat, sometimes don't.
Depends on the hair.
It depends on, exactly. Kind of depends on the state of the hair. Situation. Logs, you're mostly a hat wearing fella when you're in here with us.
But when you get older and you lose your hair, you know, kind of what you become, a hat wearer.
Hat wearer. I wear it more honestly just because I don't want to get my head sunburned than anything. I don't really care about the whole fashion thing. Probably the whole advent of streaming everything you do in life, like we're doing right now, is we're on YouTube, on X, on Facebook. I just looked up there. He's like, "We are what? No, you're right there. You see yourself in the screen right there."
Nope.
Well, that's because you're leaning out of the picture as you lean towards it right there. But I'm the guy that I don't know. Maybe you should just have some kind of picture in my place. It'd probably be more appealing. Not a picture of me. Picture R.J. Saunders.
I will screenshot from. I'll just go to Google.
Yeah, just slap his face. It's got to be a program you can slap his face on top of mine, and everything I do, I'll look like R.J.
I'm glad I'm wearing my stylish hat today.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
This
right
is
there.
they call it a melon hat. You got
your melon hat?
Mike, you got a big melon.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a melon hat.
Okay.
It's stylish, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. I'll take your word for it, man. I don't know.
Hagen Coastal Outfitters.
I can't keep up with the trends in hats. Like, I know what I don't like, though, is I don't like the hats that have that band, that rope, whatever it is,
it doesn't
across
work for me.
The top of the
This
bill.
one actually had one. I cut it off.
Did it really?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Oh my gosh, man! I don't get it.
See,
what are you supposed to do
see
with
right
that?
there? That's where it was at. I cut it out.
You jam your pack of smokes up under there, or what do you do?
It was so you couldn't even see it. A black rope on a black hat.
Yeah, well, it's a camo hat.
It's a camo hat. That's why it's blending in for you.
That's my favorite color.
I can't tell from right here. I can see the camo now.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, there you go.
Talk.
Anyway, R.J. Saunders takes over for Denmark on Monday. Dylan Denmark gonna go. He's striking out. You didn't know this?
No, where are you going?
He's leaving. He's
Denmark's
open up
meats and cheeses.
Meats and cheeses roadside stand.
Come on now.
That's one of the possible things he'll be doing.
Are you selling out of coolers or what? You are leaving for real?
Yeah, I'm leaving for real.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna just be a teacher.
Good
coach
for
some
you,
ball.
man.
Appreciate it.
Teacher, football coach.
Yeah.
Baldwin's finest.
Mainly a ball coach, but
all right.
a lot easier to.
What ball team?
Football and track. So
All
the same ones I've been doing.
Baldwin?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So what is the path, the time frame? 5 years until you take over all Baldwin athletics?
Nah, I don't want to. Man, head coach, and they don't get paid enough right now. Now,
is that right?
When they up the pay in couple years maybe, then I'll start thinking about it. But right now, no, it's not worth it.
Just remember, we're entrusting our youth with you.
Yes.
Boy.
Don't screw it up.
You better start praying.
Don't screw it up.
Glad my kid's out of school, I'll tell you that. So, all right, Coach Denmark, no NIL deals out there on the table.
I was going to ask you tomorrow, we got to, since I'm going to be here, what are you willing to give the Baldwin NIL fund?
Oh, I've got to get the.
I was asking you. Yeah,
I was wondering if you were going to get lured by First Coast Academy or I don't know, Wolfson. Tony could probably use the help.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know. That's a no?
Nah.
They're not coming after you right now.
Not right now.
All right.
I'm still undercover.
I'll try to put something together.
Can you pay in biscuits at Baldwin? Like your kids say, hey, man, come on, we'll give you a biscuit every morning.
A coach couldn't, but you could.
He'll take biscuits.
By letter of the law.
He'll take food. There's no doubt.
I see how you're working that angle
there. Absolutely. We all got to work the angles, man. We got Warren in Arizona wants to check in right now on Jaguars Today at 641-1010. Warren, good morning.
Good morning from Duval West. How are you guys today?
Duval Worldwide, baby. What's going on?
Indeed. Yeah, I just wanted to say, normally after this kind of loss, I'd be really super bummed out, especially, how things went down. But I find myself really encouraged this year going into going into next season, just listening to what you guys have to say about all the positives, then, we still have to look forward to. And I'd also like to commend Lynn Jones from the Jacksonville Free Press regarding her interaction with Coach Cohen. She was the voice of Duval in that moment. We all wanted to say exactly what she said, and she deserves all the kudos she's getting from it. And I'll take any comments off the air.
Hey, Warren, real quick, where you living at in Arizona?
In Tucson.
All right. That's a cool state, man.
Yeah. We love it out here. It's really kind of weird to see mountains in the distance versus flat pine trees, but we love it.
All right, Warren,
Yeah,
appreciate the
state.
call.
Northern Arizona is like beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, I think Jaguar fandom has resoundingly backed Lynn Jones over the last however many hours it has been. The story.
I heard what she did, and I thought Liam was very respectful and very appreciative.
Yeah, he probably felt, honestly, I think coaches, you get up there in that situation, you're probably a little uncomfortable, all right, thank you. But he was, like you said, he was respectful in the moment. It's way overblown on some of the negativity on it. Look, I do get if you are someone in there that you feel like you're not getting the opportunity to ask your question, but I don't feel like that was the case.
Look, Mike, he has press conferences that go for 15 to 20 minutes.
Sure,
everybody had plenty of time to ask their questions.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying, I do understand the media's point of view on it. I just think you got to read the room, man. You're avalanche coming against you on that one. It's a losing side for sure. But anyway, in terms of the positives to look forward to, there are a ton of positives to look forward to. I think we've been talking about a lot of them this morning. The coaching staff, the new regime as a whole, Trevor Lawrence's ascension, all these young players that have developed. But a lot, just like what Trevor said in the post game, it's tough to get here. And what he meant was it's tough to go through a whole season, put yourself in a position to win a division, have a home playoff game. It doesn't just play out that way every year. You don't start 13-4. You got to rebuild everything from the ground up to some degree. I mean, there is some foundation laid, you hope, that you can build on top of.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe you get a freak raft of injuries next year. Maybe, Trevor Lawrence has a bad 4-week stretch. Maybe anything. There's all kinds of things that can happen that can derail you. So there are a lot of positives, but nothing's guaranteed to you.
No, and that's exactly right. I mean, that's the Buffalo Bills. I mean, how many, 6 of the last 7 years they've been in the playoffs, and they haven't even gotten a sniff of the Super Bowl yet. I mean, just nothing but disappointment, and they've been there, fortunate enough to be there every year, it seems like, for the last number of years. So, yeah, it's hard to get back to where you were at. It takes a lot of sacrifice, a lot of dedication. And that's the one thing I think a lot of people don't really, thoroughly understand. I mean, the commitment that it takes to be, not only a player, but also a coach. The time away from family, the player, the emotional and physical toll that it takes on your body and your mind. I mean, it takes a lot. So yeah, it's not easy getting back. And you're right. I hope we have the foundation in place. I believe we do, for this football team to be literally. I'm not saying knocking on the door of a Super Bowl every year, but being a legitimate playoff contender, division title contender every year.
All right, let's get Cole in San Diego before we hit the break here on Jaguars Today. Cole, good morning.
Good morning. So we, first off, I do want to say I actually did coach Tim Patrick in junior college at Grossmont College. Besides the point, I just want to say how positive things are looking for the team this year. I don't really have a voice. I was, again, at the game. But the ecosystem has changed, like Gladstone said, everything is just trending upward. How we can't sit here and say Trevor Lawrence is the king, not the prince. This guy has had, winning seasons for an abysmal franchise that hasn't had winning seasons. So, to sit here and say this guy probably, if he played, could have had 4, division titles or at least 4 winning seasons. And there's just been something that, went wrong, whatever. But just so much to look forward to for the seasons to come, and having Trevor and having everything in place. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I like the use there, Cole, of the word ecosystem. A little James Gladstone-esque right there, right? Tim Patrick, the guy that you coached, I think is a big part of the culture that you speak of. And, Jacoby Myers, another big culture guy. The block that he had on Joey Bosa in that game was
a nice one.
Yeah, fantastic. And he had multiple in that game. He had another block of Joey Bosa that he didn't KO him like he did on the one that probably got a lot of fanfare. But the way that he is team first in everything that he does is, that right there is a guy that raises the level of the room just by being who he is. Exactly what James Gladstone was talking about. I think Tim Patrick is another guy that's cut in that same mold. And Parker Washington, and I think Brian Thomas Jr. is still growing, and you hope that mindset becomes infectious. But those are the things, I think, just, a small sample size of where the culture is getting to where you want it to be.
All right, there you go, Cole. Glad you enjoyed the experience, even if it was a losing one. And yes, there's a lot to look forward to. Hopefully it all comes to fruition as soon as 2026. We'll take a break here. We'll come back more with Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, owned and operated by my friends, the Thompson family, since way back in 1956. That's 7 decades of experience as a First Coast company serving you, the citizens of Duval County. Back when sandwiches were sold out of beer flats on the counter back in 56, unrefrigerated, to right now where they're all over the First Coast. Man, you can get a ham and cheese for 25 cents back in the day. A lot has changed since then, but one thing that hasn't is Danny's commitment to making quality sandwiches for their customers. Whether it's the classic Cuban made with authentic Cuban bread or a delicious home-style cranberry chicken salad, Danny's got a little something for everybody. Fast, fresh, always waiting for you in a cold case at convenience stores all over town. You'll find them at all daily stores with a wide selection to choose from. And after 10 years of talking about these guys, I could probably recite the whole lineup. But go try them for yourself. When you're hungry in Duval, the name to know is Dandy. So do what I do. Go out and make yours a dandy and do it today.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. What could Jacksonville do better? Find out from one of our best ever as David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony on Jaguars Today. Monday from 10 to noon. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida on 1010XL.
If you've been in an auto accident, you can count on the experts at San Jose Collision to return your vehicle to pre-accident conditions. San Jose Collision can also provide a fresh paint job to freshen up your vehicle or completely change its appearance. They can paint and repair all foreign and domestic cars and trucks. When quality and professionalism are important to you, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Jaguars Today Tuesday is serviced by Jolington Creek Pest Control.
Hi, folks. It's Frank Frangie. Did you know that individuals over age 60 have great results on Awaken 180? See how you could drop weight and get off your medications in just 3 months with Awaken 180's Golden Program. Visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Join the movement at the Foundation 5000 Saturday, January 17th at UF Health in St. Augustine. The Community 5K supports the UF Health St. John's Foundation Care Connect mobile outreach and clinic, delivering vital medical care to those who need it most. Run or walk with 96 Olympian Keith Brantley, or come enjoy the Asian market, open to runners and non-runners alike. Sign up today at runsignup.com. Search Foundation 5000.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. No, you see, you get $150 in bonus bets after your first $5 bet hits.
Did somebody say hit?
Whoa, Ray Lewis? We were just saying if your bet hits.
Huh? You know I love a good form tackle.
We know, Ray. We know.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets. Not a cash offer. Offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Urology for common cancers of the prostate, bladder, and kidney. Early detection is key with 5 locations across Northeast Florida. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
It's January. You turn on the hot water, expecting steam, and you get let down. That's usually a sign your tankless water heater is loaded with mineral buildup, slowing it down and wearing it out before it's time. So Duck Duck Rooter is kicking the new year off strong with a Start Fresh Tankless Flush. Their experienced technicians flush and clean your tankless system, restoring performance and getting you back in the game. Right now, get your tankless water heater flushed and cleaned for just $99. 904-862-6769 or DuckDuckRooter.com.
Renewal by Anderson is ringing in the new year with a happy renewal year sale. Buy one, get one, 40% off all replacement windows and doors. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 1 year. Renewal by Anderson's Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable year-round. Sale ends January 31st. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, here with Logs for another 40 minutes or so. You want to get your questions in, you know the ways to do it. 641-1010 on the phone lines, Key Buick GMC phone lines, or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at that same number. Got several coming in on X that we want to pass along to you, Logs. So why don't we get to one of them with today's 10-10 take?
10-10 take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brightened up by First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
All right, always like to turn the 10-10 take over to Jeff here on a Check the Tape Tuesday. And this question, Jeff, comes from Chris. I think it's a good one here. Selfishly, he says, I don't want to lose any of our coordinators, but if we did lose Anthony Campanelli, is there somebody on staff that could be an in-house replacement?
I don't know the answer to that. That's a good question because, I mean, I'm not, in the foxhole, so to speak. But, yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Here's the one thing I do hope. I hope we don't lose him.
Oh, me too.
His ability to connect, I mean, he orchestrated what was the greatest takeaway turnaround in NFL history. I mean, to go from what the Jaguars were last year, and what was it, 9 takeaways and 25 points, to this year, 31 takeaways and 110 points on defense. I mean, dramatic. And, oh, by the way, the number one
run defense
rush ranking in the National Football League.
Absolutely.
I think at some point they will definitely come knocking. Do I expect it this year with a first-year defensive coordinator who's especially on the defensive side of the ball? No.
Who do you think is more likely to get a job first, Campanelli or Udinski?
Udinski, just because of the side of the ball. And the hot demand for that side of the ball.
And no one's afraid of hiring a 30-something head
No, they
coach.
won't. I mean, they're totally not afraid to do that on the offensive side of the ball. Just they want to all find the next Sean McVay, the next Liam Cohen. That's what they want.
This one, following up kind of on the defensive side here, it's a question that a lot of people have, and I don't think there's a definitive answer, but we'll ask you right now how you feel about it. Trevor asks, do you think Travis Hunter will play more full-time on defense next year just due to necessity?
I think a lot of it depends on what happens in the offseason personnel-wise. I think he's the best cornerback that the Jaguars have. Is he the best wide receiver? You could have made the case that when he was playing pre-injury that he was the best receiver that they had.
He was starting to emerge. He had that 8-catch, 100-yard game with a touchdown against the Rams.
So, I mean, that's a great question, but I think there's a lot of things to kind of be processed and looked at between now and then before you would say, well, yeah, he's going to play more on that side of the ball. I think you definitely want to start to define that role. I think that makes it easier for everybody, coaches included, to be able to say, okay, this is the role that he's going to play, and now we can essentially, I don't want to say build around that, because that's not the preeminent factor when it comes to building, but I think it's part of the factors that go into designing a defense and designing an offense. So we'll have to wait and see.
Look, I think there is something to, getting into the Hunter discussion. I'm right there with you. Like, I don't need to make a decision on which side he's going to play more. They're going to do whatever they do in the offseason, and that'll give you a hint as to how they're thinking about how they're going to approach year 2 with Travis Hunter. But I do look at what happened on the field for the football team, and I think part of the reason that Parker Washington emerged into the kind of weapon he did is because he was doing a bunch of things in the offense that's what they would have been asking Travis Hunter to do if Hunter had been healthy on the team. And Hunter is just more athletic than Parker Washington is. So he gives you a little bit more juice.
Yeah, he's faster.
Right? Like if you're asking him to do those kind of things, it's fascinating to see what they're going to do with it going forward. My mind right now is he's going to be playing both sides. We'll figure out exactly what that's going to look like when they figure out exactly what that's going to look like. I have no rush to try to answer that question right now.
Well, I think if you looked at just this season and said, okay, based on where we were at the end of this year as an offense and as a defense, I think you'd say, let's play more on defense.
It's where they need more help.
Because that's kind of the side of the ball that, you're looking for maybe a little bit more help.
Yeah, Parker emerged. You signed Jacoby to an extension. He's going to be a big factor.
And you hope that Brian can get back to being that dominant factor that he was his rookie year. And if so, then, look, the pie's pretty small on the offensive side of the ball. So, we'll have to wait and see. They may end up drafting, a bunch of cornerbacks and all of them being – Lassiter or Stingley's, and then all of a sudden, maybe you push them more on the offense. We'll see.
Yeah. It would seem like they're depending on what the running back room does is one thing, but it doesn't look like they need to add wide receiver this offseason, right? Because you have that option to play Travis Hunter there as much as you want, along with those other top 3 guys.
Yeah. I think you never pass up the opportunity to improve a room if you feel like that the player fits, and kind of like with the offensive line, if you get some injuries, where you at? Do you feel good about the next guy that can just step right in? On wide receiver, I don't know if you would feel that way. If you had an injury to Parker or to Brian, would you feel like, okay, we have another guy besides Travis Hunter that just could step right in and we would never miss a beat? I don't feel that way. So if you supplement it a little bit more, okay, then maybe you're there. But yeah, there's a lot of, kind of wait and see of where they're at. Is wide receiver a position that you sit there and go, you know what, we got to get one high. We got to get one high in the draft. We got to make it a priority in free agency. Probably not. There's some other positions like we talked about. The pass rushers, are going to be a perfect example of them. And, the other area I think that they'll take a look at is possibly, defensive tackle, defensive end. I think those are going to be priority picks, because of the impending free agency of Trayvon Walker, the lack of depth that you have as interior pass rushers with this front. So I think that's going to be the main focus.
Do you think they'll pay Trayvon Walker what the market would bear?
I think it's going to be hard, love them. What's the number? That's always the question, when you start talking about, can we keep player X? What's the number? And until you know what that is, you really can't make a call on it. But you're going to have a designated value to that player.
If you decide that the market, if you're the Jags and you decide that, he's going to want $30 million or so, maybe they have some preliminary discussions. He's going to want 30 on average, and you think he's really good. We can't be paying that to 2 defensive ends. Do you consider trading him this offseason?
No, I don't think you do, because I don't think the trade would generate the value that you could replace for the year of production and also the compensatory pick possibility. Because I think you factor both of those in, the production that you get to keep him and then the compensatory pick that you would get if he enters free agency and you're not able to keep him.
Right.
So,
but that would max out at a late third, 2 years down the road.
Right. But you get the production for 1 year and then the pick, versus maybe a high pick. But I don't, who knows what that pick would be.
Right. Well, it doesn't have to, it could be player for player. It could be a lot of, a lot of different.
I think you listen to everything, but look, love the guy.
By the way, I'm not trying to ship him out of town.
Exactly.
I'm just saying you got to consider all the options, though. If you're going to sit there and you're a front office that decides we can't extend him.
Well, what's not on the table is a trade before his contract expires. That's not even a possibility in my world if I was making a call on Trayvon, just because he is part of the identity of this defense. When I say that, I mean, he's the bully. I mean, he's the guy, one of the big reasons why they have a number one run ranking in that column is because he's so physical. This past game, I mean, he was dominant against the run. Him and Devon Hamilton.
He saved a huge play.
Dominant.
By
The
James
play
Cook.
that he made on the cutback where he, the longest yard tackle I said in our broadcast, I think he broke his freaking neck. I mean, it was a great play because if he doesn't make that play, I mean, James Cook is out the gate.
This one along those lines with pass rush. Jack's Mike on X asked, how do you get more out of Josh Hines Allen? Pressure's great, but it's not sacks. What do you think he needs to do?
That's what he is. I mean, I think what we're seeing out of Josh, last year and this year, that's who Josh is. I mean, is Josh all of a sudden going to magically have 17 sacks in a season next year? I don't think so. I mean, I think what he is right around double digits and a consistent pressure guy. If you look at his numbers through his career, that's been who he is, and that's an excellent player, But I mean, for people that keep wanting him to get back to 17 sacks a year, I think that's an outlier year. But I expect him to be top 10 in pressures in the National Football League, which is what he was this year. That's the player who I think he is, which is a damn good player.
It is. I don't know if you're paying $30+ million for pressures or, as opposed to sacks. So, that's, do you think that's what I know this regime didn't sign it, but is that, does
Mike,
his contract?
In a perfect world, Mike, you wouldn't have waited until you did when
sure,
basically you let him, well, I don't say let him, he had an opportunity to dictate the situation. If you had addressed it beforehand and not been, what's the right way to say this? So delayed in recognizing the type of player and the impact that he has on your roster, then you would have signed him 2 years before you did. And would you be paying him at the level that he's at now? No. That was a mistake by the previous regime.
Yeah.
A very obvious mistake and a really dumb one.
Well, and it depends on what he would have been willing to accept as well, in that circumstance.
Very true.
All right, we got to take a break here. If you're on the line, stay there. We'll get more questions in for Jeff Lageman. Take a quick look around the rest of the National Football League when we return as well on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Get national insight from a local legend.
I know exactly who this man is.
Mike Duraco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Brightened by Lee and Kate's Glass on 1010XL.
The best wings in town are coming to River City Marketplace. Leon Searcy here. Wingstop is opening another North Jacksonville location soon at the end of December. You always get fresh, made-to-order wings in 11 flavors, including original, hot, garlic parm, and of course, lemon pepper. Wingstop now has 18 locations in Jacksonville, always open until 1 a.m. So skip the wait and order your wings online at wingstop.com and swing by to pick up at the brand new Wingstop location in River City Marketplace.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Jaguars Today Tuesday, kept pest-free by Julington Creek Pest Control.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and this month I want to talk to you about welcoming the winds of change in your life. But so often, when we see the winds of change coming our way, our immediate response is to fight it. Friends, when you see things in your life changing, when the winds of change are coming your way, don't fight it, but embrace it. Recognize that God is stirring you up so that you too can soar like an eagle.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Josh Hines Allen was spectacular for the Teal and Black in the wild card round. The star defensive end recorded 4 tackles against Buffalo, and he would also deliver a sack. It was the most fun he's had this year, and it was a joy being able to watch him. And he's your Superior Fence and Rail's Defensive Player of the Game.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Covering the First Coast and ready to help when you need it. That's Rebound Rehabilitation. With a dozen locations, they're easy to get to and they'll get you back in the game. Sports injury, workers' comp case, or auto accidents, you name it, they can help. Check out reboundrehab.com.
Some auto shops call it an inspection and flag any little thing. That's called a wallet flush. At AA Automotive, they don't play that game. They fix only what needs fixing. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, we'll get a golden moment here with Jeff Lageman. He's past his golden anniversary, his golden birthday, but not quite to that 6 being the first number in that age factor, as we learned earlier today. Still got a ways to go there.
Yeah, that's kind of scary, right? When I passed my jersey number, I was like, man, are you kidding me?
Hang in there, man.
Where'd the time go?
Hang in there. Let me ask you this one. This is from JagFan15 on X. Sent a lot of questions our way. He said he was watching the NFL app, and in their opinion, they said the Bills were targeting Monteric Brown. Did you have that same feeling watching the film?
No.
Okay.
No, they weren't targeting Monteric. I think, look, they went after Greg Newsome and Monteric both equally. I thought Greg Newsome had some plays that weren't very good. I thought Monteric did okay.
How did Jarian look?
Yeah, he had a couple moments, like to have a couple do-overs. I think all 3 of them did. I mean, that's probably the one thing that, if you could have a do-over for one position group, you'd like to be a little bit better, and remember we talked last week, there was kind of 3 things that you said, give me the 3 keys. I said turnover differential was 1. I think 2 was patience and balance on offense was number 2, and I think number 3 was sticky coverage. And I don't think we did a great job in the sticky coverage area. 18, I think, is that his number for the Buffalo Bills, the deep threat guy, the old guy. Got away.
Brandon Cooks, yeah.
Cooks, right? 18, isn't that right?
Yeah.
18, Brandon Cooks got deep a couple times, and then Shakir is, you knew was the go-to guy at all critical situations, and he continued to be that guy. I mean, heck, he ended up having 12 catches in the ball game.
On 12 targets.
Which is outstanding. I mean, if that's your football team, but it's not outstanding if it's your defense defending that. So I think you'd like to have some do-overs.
Yeah. All right. Is Monteric a priority to re-sign for you?
Yeah, because I don't think it's going to be prohibitive. I don't think the number's going to be crazy, And, you like the guy because he's, dependable, available. He's got the right mindset. He comes to work every day. He's a good teammate. I mean, there's a lot of really good things about Monterica, but, you got to start calling him Buster. He prefers to be called Buster. I didn't know that until this year. And I finally asked him, I said, what would you rather be called, Monteric or Buster? And he goes, I don't really matter. I said, well, it's up to you, man. It's your name and you tell me. He goes, Buster. I said, all right, so we'll call you Buster. So I hope they find a way to get Buster back because I think he adds to the chemistry of the room. I mean, not to the level of like a Jordan Lewis, who's, this elite leader, but he's one of those soldiers that you just want to have in your arsenal.
All right, let's take a pause from the Jaguar discussion right here. Got some more calls coming in. Let's Tony Smith take us around the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
An MRI has revealed that Buffalo wide receiver Gabe Davis suffered a torn ACL on Sunday here in Jacksonville. The Bills are getting wide receiver Curtis Samuel and defensive tackle Ed Oliver back at practice this week. Rams head coach Sean McVay said that quarterback Matthew Stafford will be good to go for this week after suffering a sprained right index finger against the Panthers last Saturday. New England corner Christian Gonzalez has been placed in the league's concussion protocol. The schedule for the divisional round of the playoffs has been set. Buffalo at Denver, 4:30 on Saturday on CBS. San Francisco at Seattle, Saturday at 8 on Fox. Houston at New England, Sunday at 3 on ESPN and ABC. And the LA Rams at Chicago to wrap up the weekend, 6:30 Sunday night on NBC and Peacock. Green Bay linebacker Micah Parsons said on Monday he's aiming for a Week 1 return next season as he rehabs his torn ACL, but said that Week 3 might be more realistic for that return. Atlanta interviewed former Baltimore head coach John Harbaugh yesterday and will interview former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel for their open head coaching position. And former Arizona head coach Jonathan Gannon will be interviewing with Tennessee for their head coaching job on Sunday. He'll also be interviewing with Dallas and Washington this week as well, but for their open defensive coordinator positions in those spots.
That's a lot of specificity for a rehab timeline right there. I'm not sure about Week 1, but Week 3 seems reasonable. Okay.
And we're talking about next year?
Yes.
Yeah, Micah.
Yes. Yeah. That's I don't know how you can feel good about Week 3, but not Week 1. But
there's a lot of time between now.
There is. And who knows, though? Maybe the doctors have laid out a very specific time frame for him. Not our issue to worry about.
It's best not to even talk about time frame with an injury like that, because if you start setting expectations, if you don't meet it, then there's a level of disappointment and people start going, well, what's wrong with the guy?
Yeah.
You just let it happen how it's going to happen organically.
Yeah. Is that Bob in Lake City we got there, Dylan? Let's get Bob up here next on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, hi, guys. Enjoy the program, and especially Tuesdays. I live for Tuesdays to hear Jeff's analysis of the week before. I'm out here on the farm. We're actually in Wellburn, one exit past I-75 going west. But season ticket holder since the beginning. Jeff, you talked about B.J. Green, Eric Armstead, and Matt Dickerson. I was out with my cows and missed if either one of you had comments on Mason Smith. Are you saying that maybe we're one interior defensive lineman that can make a difference in the rotation to get more push up the middle?
Yeah, I think that can make if you have a dominant interior pass rusher, man, it changes the world. When it comes to your ability to approach games with a four-man rush. And I think that this team needs more of that. I mean, look, I think Eric Armstead, there's a strong possibility that he's back next year, just because I thought he had a really strong year. And Matt Dickerson's emergence gives you confidence and some depth there with Devon Hamilton. And Mason Smith is the guy that you're basically saying, prove it. You got to earn it. And this year he didn't earn the hat and the jersey on game day. And I think that's a position that you're going to be looking at in a very strong manner.
Did something happen there? I mean, because I understand the injury, but they were raving about him in the offseason.
Well, they were raving, I think, about his work ethic, his commitment, the way that he got better physically. But, all of that is just the precursors to lead up to the bottom line, which is production. And production is the ultimate judge, and it wasn't there for him. And, you point to whatever reason, whether it's, the injuries, whether the inexperience, missing training camp. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Is it there or is it not? And it wasn't there enough for him to, again, earn the helmet and the jersey on game day. And next year, you bring in competition. And I think it's very well understood that it's got to be earned.
All right, let's take our final time out here with Jeff Lageman. Got a few more that you've submitted that we'll pass along to Jeff before we wrap up for the day on this Check the Tape Tuesday here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Jaguars Today Tuesday.
Protected by Shillington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Prosser here, and with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. So don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out your high-interest debt. 904-999-1508. And you can see how much cash you can get today. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com/careers to find out more.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. People ask, are your solutions for thinning hair permanent? Yes, our solutions have permanent natural results and are guaranteed to work. Put our 35 years of experience helping 10,000 plus men and women to work for your thinning hair. Our trademark hair transplant procedures will give you 3 times more hair in one procedure. PRP and laser treatments are fast, easy, and effective, and only take 30 minutes. Most of our staff have experienced hair loss ourselves. Our caring and confidential team can help you look better and feel better about yourself and restoring your hair again.
For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts at the Jaguars Call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
If you need a holiday gift idea, let Kuhn Flowers handle that for you. This is Max with 1010XL. Simply go online to kuhnflowers.com and look at the wide variety of floral and plant arrangements that will make someone's day this holiday season.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right. Someone on the text line says, anchor a defense, win the division. If you can't do that, sacks are as good as underwear commercials. Well, they did win the division. So I'm not sure what the point of that is.
Don't know either.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, they won 13 games and won the division and had a pretty good defense this year, particularly against the run. So
it's pretty amazing that Jonathan Taylor was the high yards rushing
74
against this defense with 74 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tremendous.
I mean, they shut Cook down this week. You know, what do you attribute it to?
Can you imagine? I mean, if we had talked about last week and I said, hey, Mike, if they hold James Cook and Josh Allen to 26 carries for 79 yards, are we going to win?
And your running backs are going to average between them like 8 yards a carry, and your quarterback's going to throw 3 touchdowns. We'd be talking about the margin of victory.
Victory.
Right. By how much would have been the question. But mostly the same personnel, Jeff, in the front seven. Why such a dramatic improvement against the run? Obviously, Anthony Campanelli, but what did he do to get that level of performance out of these guys?
It goes back to kind of what I was talking about a little bit, and that allowing the players to do what they do best, I think, is number one. Scheme. At the beginning of the year, you guys will probably remember, my hope for this defense was that they would be similar to Green Bay's and that they wouldn't allow the explosive plays. I mean, that's probably the biggest reason for the turnaround this year has been the lack of explosive plays that this defense allowed. I mean, whereas last year, that was the number one problem, why they were so bad. So you combine the limited explosive plays with also the takeaways, which limit possessions, and then the emergence of the run defense, which you got to point to getting players back in their positions, which Foye back to Mike, Devin Lloyd at will. The emergence of Devon Hamilton, who had probably, I don't even think it's probably, he had his best year as a pro yet, was dominant. I mean, the games that he had coming down the stretch were by far his best. His performance against the Buffalo Bills was outstanding. Trayvon Walker is obviously a big part of that. And then the play of the safeties, you got to give a lot of credit. I mean, think about how many missed tackles we had by the safeties. Can you think of any? I mean, just think for
nothing that jumps out.
Right.
I'm sure there were a few.
Yeah, I mean, there might have been a few, but I mean, there's nothing that really jumps out, and that's part of the ability to limit the explosive plays is the tackling by the safety group, and Eric Murray had a huge impact on that. Dewey Winger tackling, that's probably his strongest suit, and Antonio Johnson, his emergence as well. Gardak played a big role in that because, I mean, he's a tough SOB now. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that, but you got to start in the middle, to the triangle, and that's Devin Lloyd and Foye Oluokun and Devon Hamilton. That's typically where it all starts with run defense.
And for the safety group, you get Caleb Bransaw next year, who was
can't wait to see
second pick.
Yeah, I'm excited about him and the outside backer, that we never really got to see.
McLeod, yeah. All right, so this will be the last one today. Just a quick thought on this, and we'll talk more about it next week. But from Miguel, what specifically would you like to see Trevor Lawrence work on to improve in year 2?
I mean, owning the offense still. I mean, when you get to the point to where you're just reacting and being an athlete to where the execution of the X's and O's just becomes secondhand, then you can take your game to another level.
What about just letting them hang?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, okay. that's kind of in a more spicier way of saying it. That's another way of saying it. Yeah,
it's our man Travis Etienne right there. So let those nuts hang. That's what he said. Off the back of your truck.
I think,
or whatever. Just saying.
Don't let them hang too low. That's why you wear a jock.
All right. Fair enough. But, just let the boys breathe on occasion. All right. Final thoughts with Jeff Lageman coming up here. XL Primetime is next.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnick Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Matt Hayes, how's it hanging?
We're planning on letting the boys breathe here at XL Prime Time for the next 2 hours. What we're planning on doing.
It's close confines in here. You gotta air it out a little bit. You gotta let things breathe. What's coming up?
I don't know
today?
about that, but yeah.
No, I'm a big fan of the pocket underwear these days, so I don't like them hanging too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got coming up?
They're actually pretty good.
They are.
We're going to talk Jags, and we're going to talk some college football. Obviously, the national championship game coming on Monday between the Canes and the Hoosiers.
Who you got?
Hoosiers. I don't think anybody's stopping Hoosiers.
You know what? I'm so tired of seeing Michael Irvin on the sideline. I mean, can we just ban him for the national championship game? At least just don't show him.
I don't know what he's on.
Can we
I think
get
it's
Leon
just like
to talk to the guy to get some sense knocked into his head to just, I mean, stop, man, stop.
he's like a nut right now, an absolute nut.
Does he do anything else? I mean, is that his life now?
That's
Being on
his
the
job
sideline of the U.
That's his
Leon.
job.
Leon's
looking at the studio
Can we
right
get
now. He's not
Michael
happy.
Irvin to get off the sideline? For God's sakes, can we get him off? Can we get him off the sideline?
He said, leave his teammate alone. That's imaging. All right, Matt, have a good show today.
All right, boys.
As we work towards the national championship game. Logs, obviously, season's over. Things are different for you. What do you got going on the rest of the week?
Jaguars All Access on Thursday. The radio show is going to be taking a break for a while. That's Jaguars Happy Hour and Jaguars HQ taking a break. We're working to have a very special guest on Thursday night at Strings. I think that'll be to be announced. But then again, outdoor show on Saturday, and then playoff football, man. I can't wait. Even though, I mean, the Jaguars lost and disappointment of it, I can still watch playoff football, man. I'm a huge fan of the NFL. Love it.
All right, there you go. Jeff will be with us for another couple weeks here as we continue to look back on the season that was and look ahead to 2026. Tomorrow, Liam Cohen and James Gladstone are going to hold a joint press conference at 10 a.m., and we'll try to come on a couple minutes early. We're going to air that live for you right here so you can hear their wrap-up thoughts on the season and some of the questions that are posed to them. That's coming up on the program tomorrow, along with John Ozier. For Jeff Lageman, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thank you for listening to another Check the Tape Tuesday here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever.